So, it is your senior year and you have all but finished the college application process. You studied hard and earned that stellar SAT or ACT score you hoped for. You are continuing to maintain an excellent GPA while simultaneously writing essays that highlight your strengths and complexities. Yet there is one more piece to the college admissions puzzle that you need to take care of: the letter of recommendation. In what is left of this video, we plan to address many of the questions you might have surrounding letters of recommendation, including why they are important, how to best select a teacher, counselor, or other recommender, and what steps you should take during and after you ask a person for a letter of recommendation.
A letter of recommendation is essentially one of your teachers, mentors, or coaches telling colleges what kind of qualities you would bring to their school. For instance, for teachers, who are typically the ones writing your letters of recommendation, they talk about what kind of qualities you brought to their classroom, such as leadership or cooperation. They paint the picture of what kind of classmate, teammate, or club member you are, which gives colleges the chance to see who you are from someone else's perspective, not just your own. They also get a more complete sense of who you are, as this evaluation goes beyond just your grades or test scores and instead shows your value in areas that can't be measured by numbers. Basically, a letter of recommendation is a teacher vouching for you and saying this student will be a valuable addition to your university student body for the following reasons. As you can imagine, this is extremely helpful for you as well as for the schools. Colleges ask for letters of recommendation because it provides a very unique look into the kind of impressions you make on the people around you from an outside, trusted perspective. And this is the kind of thing that they can't get from other areas of your application. It is an opportunity for them to begin to piece together the kind of person you are, and it's a great opportunity for you, depending on who you choose as your recommenders, to showcase a personal side of yourself you want them to see.
The person you choose to write your recommendation letter is very important. So who should you choose? Generally, you should have developed a close relationship with the person you ask for a letter. They should be a teacher, advisor, or other adult who has observed and interacted personally with you. The relationship with the teacher should take priority over the grade you received in the class. For instance, don't just ask the teacher of a class you got an A in for a recommendation letter if you don't know them very well. Ask yourself if there are particular interactions with the teacher that stand out to you. It's better to have a detailed recommendation from a teacher you've bonded with than a vague one from someone who doesn't know you very well. It's also important to ensure that each recommender can provide a new and different aspect to your application. For instance, having 2 letters from teachers of different subjects is recommended over 2 from the same subject. For some specific programs, you may prefer a recommender that can speak to your strengths in that area. Other things to look for when selecting recommenders are to choose someone who is reliable, has written previous letters of recommendation, and is a good writer. Overall, when selecting a recommender, ask a teacher or advisor who knows you well and has a close relationship to you.
Now that you have decided on the best recommender to meet your personal needs, you're probably wondering how you should ask them. Proper etiquette and time management are essential for landing the perfect letter of recommendation, so we've composed a list of do's and do nots that will hopefully make the process a bit easier. Do. Ask early. If you really connected with the teacher or other individual, chances are many other aspiring university students did too. That is not to mention that your recommender also has a full life of commitments other than you. Asking for a letter of recommendation long before your application deadline is both polite and likely beneficial to the quality of the letter. More time means that your writer can contact you regarding any questions they may have, and also gives them the ability to work through multiple drafts. Do not try to influence exactly what goes into the letter. Your recommender knows what parts of you they want to highlight in their writing. While it is perfectly acceptable to answer any questions your recommender has, do not command that anything be done in a certain way. It may be acceptable to send your recommender your resume so that they understand more of what you do outside of your class, but you should discuss this with your recommender to see if it's something that they want. Do. Be mindful of the medium through which you and your recommender communicate. One of the best ways to reach out to a recommender is through email, although if that is not possible, using a cell phone or meeting with your recommender using COVID-19 protocols also works. Be respectful of the person's busy schedule and personal boundaries. Always know the best way to contact your recommender and be sure to respond in a punctual manner. Do not Be afraid to have fun with the process. You chose your recommender for a reason, and as most college students can attest, they still remain close with their writers. And lastly, do. Have a backup recommender you can ask if one of your original recommenders is unable to write you a recommendation. If someone tells you no, don't worry. Teachers are busy and may have a lot of recommendations to write for other students. Having a backup teacher or counselor who you can quickly ask for a letter of recommendation will help make sure you aren't scrambling at the last minute.
So after asking your teacher for a letter of recommendation, it's important that you follow up with them in order to ensure the process is complete. When following up with your recommender, remember that it's perfectly okay to send a reminder email to your teachers to make sure that they have gotten everything completed after your initial correspondence. But if you're unable to get a hold of them via email, safely paying them an in-person visit and kindly reminding them about the deadline is also another option. But that's not all. Another important aspect of writing a letter of recommendation is making sure that you write a thank you note to your teacher. A thank you note is something students usually do after their teacher of choice has completed their recommendation letter. After your recommendation letter is finished, it is also important to be grateful about your teacher's time and dedication towards the letter. This can be simply accomplished with a short email to your teacher, expressing how thankful you are, as this key component is now in your college application. For example, a thank you email could simply start with, "Good morning. I would like to thank you for your time and effort that was put into my letter of recommendation," and so on. Once your letter of recommendation is complete, you can also express gratitude beyond just an email, simply with a use of a letter or a small gift, or etc. You may even want to include updates later by letting your recommender know what colleges you have been accepted to. In conclusion, obtaining a letter of recommendation is very important, as it will allow colleges to learn more about the student that you are beyond the numbers on your application. The letter of recommendation will be utilized by colleges not only to tell how you work in an academic environment, but more on how you are personally and these personal character traits. Qualities that will be brought over to the institution that you are applying to. The process is fairly simple. However, it's very important in your overall application. First, choose a recommender who you believe can best attest to the attitudes and person that you are. Next, reach out to their ability to write a letter of recommendation on your behalf. In order to choose a teacher to write your letter of recommendation, keep in mind how long you've known this teacher, what you plan to study in college, if you know already, and what class you personally think you've excelled in and have shown the most about yourself as a student. Finally, don't hesitate to reach out after your recommender has written this letter of recommendation to say thank you and express your gratitude. And never forget to know how important the recommender is in your overall application. You got this.